Hello, I'm Addie Hosier. Most of you know me since I help manage the Outreach Trainer program for our OSHA Training Institute. I'm interviewing outreach trainers from our region for our quarterly newsletter. I'd like to introduce you to Chris Ayala. He is an outreach trainer and he teaches safety to hundreds of people in Kuwait. He has a very interesting background and unusual experience I think you will enjoy hearing about.
Yeah, so I'm interested in finding out about your background, like how you got into safety. Um, what are some things that, have been successes for you? Like you found out that somebody didn't get on the top of a ladder and so they were safer, or you drove down some metrics or whatever. And then
Okay.
maybe even like some challenges, because I was really impressed with some of the work you do. I was like, what the heck?
It all began. So obviously graduated high school. Took a year just to kind of see what I wanted to do in life. Worked in the manufacturing industry. Actually worked for Rubbermaid. That was my first
Okay.
job out of high school. So that's where I really got introduced into occupational safety. So there I was working as I started off working, as a machine operator, and then kind of worked my way up where I was doing quality and safety. And I really liked it. And then, everything at that time, I graduated in 2001. So at that time, things were changing in the world. Um, lots of things were going on overseas, especially with our military. So,
Right.
so I was like, well, why don't I join the military?
Of
So
course.
it never really came to my mind, but I did have a few family members that were in the military. So it interested me. So I decided to join the military. I was in the military. I joined as a fueler. So I was doing aircraft refueling and things like that. There's a lot of
You say
safe.
that so casually. That's like so dangerous. Oh yeah, I was just doing mid-air refueling. Like, sure, everyone does that.
So yeah, I mean, during my time in the military, I was deployed overseas. My first deployment was actually in Abu Dhabi, 2003. My second deployment was in Iraq, and that's where I really got introduced into government contracting. I didn't know what it was. I'm there as a, you know, in the U.S. military, on a U.S. military mission as a U.S. military service member, and then I see these civilians working on base, and I'm like, well, I wonder what they do, right? They're doing the same exact job as what I'm doing. They're doing
Right.
fuel, and really inspiring me to do, you know, safety and what it was all about. It really got me interested. And actually, my first class in safety was right in southern Iraq. It was on the military base. They were doing a 30-hour OSHA class, general
Really.
industry class.
Wow.
That's basically how it all started. And once I took that class, my next year, um, I applied for a safety position and I was accepted. And my first job as a safety professional was actually in the green zone. Um,
What's that mean?
so in Baghdad, it's where the U.S. embassy is at. It's where Saddam Hussein had his palace.
Right.
So
Wow.
yeah, I mean, lots of interesting things happened there, and just from there, I mean, I've worked all over the world. I've worked in Afghanistan. I've worked in Africa. Worked, now I'm working in Kuwait. So, you know,
So I wondered if there was some big differences that surprised you or that were interesting in some of your travels, some of the places you've been.
yeah, that's actually interesting that you brought that up. So the way that most contracts work is that most of your supervisor and above positions are going to be like your frontline supervision and above are going to be American nationals, British nationals, especially on the U.S. military base, because U.S. nationals are the only ones that are able to hold a clearance. Um, so the labor, so I would say at least 95% of the labor is all outsourced. And these are individuals that are coming from different countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, I mean, you name it. We actually, on the current contract I'm on right now, we have individuals from over 50 different countries that work with us. So that's actually like one of your questions that you had sent me was what are the challenges, and that's actually one of the biggest challenges I would say is instructor. So I have to use a translator, in a lot of my classes, just because I want them to get the message that I'm trying to get across as far as the specific class that I'm teaching. So yeah, the culture, the language barrier that we have, and like what you said, in a lot of these countries, safety is not prioritized how it is in like Western countries, like the UK, like the US. So, getting them to understand the importance of safety, because in their country, a lot of the organizations, they look at safety as an added cost, instead of integrating it into their processes. They just look at it a different way. Even in the host country that I'm in right now, Kuwait, they even look at it as an added cost. They don't really prioritize it as much as we do in the States. So yeah, that's one of my biggest challenges here as an instructor, is just trying to break that mindset and trying to educate them and coach them into why working safe is not only about them, but it's about their loved ones at home, getting home safe.
Well, I'm fascinated with what you're doing. So I think the way I even got introduced to you was you were you're going to take a renewal class or something, or whatever it is. I
Yeah.
can't remember your paperwork now, but so what's your experience working with us, like as this OSHA training center, if you feel like giving a shout out at all?
Yeah, no, I mean, I love it. You guys are very professional. Anytime I ask a question, I've sent multiple questions to the OTI, and you guys always respond back quick and professional. I mean, so I've never had any type of, you know, um, anything bad to say. I mean, I've always had a positive experience with you guys.
That's cool. Well, I'm really happy that we got to talk. Is there anything else that you wanted to share about your safety career or anything before we wrap it up?
Anybody out there that's interested in a safety profession, I would just say one of the biggest things is just invest in yourself. Try to learn as much as you can. Find a mentor. That really helped me out a lot throughout my career. Fortunately for me, I had some very good mentors that were very positive and really guided me down the right path as far as elevating myself within safety, like finishing my degree.
All right. Well, this has been great talking with you, Chris. I really appreciate your time.
All right, thank you so much.